Welcome everyone, it's Baby Strigmar. It's time for some more Aveyond 2 Expert difficulty. I am quite let's just say I'm kind of how do I put it? I haven't played in a while. All I remember distinctly is that these enemies don't respond well to almost anything. Yours. Except Blizzard Scrolls. That's what I do remember. Because they just don't take damage otherwise. Like, they take a small amount, but it's nothing to write home about. Eat an elixir. I don't like to say that Blizzard Scrolls are a crutch that I'm using for this, but until I get some really powerful spells, which I have to look for, and I had to check my settings, hopefully it continues to hold up, the settings. If not, I'm in a bit of a pickle. But hopefully it's stretched to screen and it's not doing the weird stuff. I'm just going to try to hang on to that. Because here's the problem. These older games have issues with the new games. They don't do well. Like, they don't... It may seem like, oh, I can just, waltz in or whatever and get whatever I want. Not so. Because this game has a lot of very specific things that go with it. Very specific water graphics. They're not bad for what it is, alright? This is some pretty nice cell-shaded water that's purple shadow slime. It's very well done. This game is well done. It's really underrated. It's competing with a lot of really powerful games right now, and that's kind of what its problem is. Alright, I gotta convince the Lord of Souls. I wish I had, like, the Persuade perk I get in Elder Scrolls Online, where we get the Persuade, and then just, like, let the squirrels go, and then you put the Persuade perk on and instantly overpower them. Let's see if we can negotiate with the Lord of Souls. And yes, the music here is kind of verboten to use, because it claims it or whatever. So there's that. Found your memory. The memory. Yes, memory of your rose. Your mother gave your garden. Alright, we got the soul. So he does have a heart at least. Of some kind. Like a... He has mercy. Didn't know that he had mercy. Alright. We're going to try a variety of options to kill this thing. Unfortunately, the only consistent one is Blizzard Scrolls. At least we got him dizzy. See, these other spells do minimum damage to it. Does not seem to be affected by plague. But it does throw out curse. Alright. Of course it has nothing, so I'm forced to do grinding of some other stuff. Of course. Just trying to hope that it engages, and then I have to figure out what my last video on this game was. Alright, getting him out of here is going to be rough. Especially since I've got to not get lost, backtrack, this is, of course, on expert difficulty, where everything is super painful. I'm having to use my keyboard warrior skills that I earned in Elder Scrolls Online. And before you tell me Elder Scrolls Online is gotten less skill-based, let me tell you, they have made you more powerful, but they've also made your content more powerful. So it's got that element of that, because the DLCs in that game are omega strong. I hate to do it, but like, this is literally what these enemies do on expert. They just be very inconvenient. That's their primary purpose, is to be very inconvenient, at least in the Cursed Woods. Outside of here, it's much more convenient. Like, if I go to almost anywhere else other than, let's say, White Pass, we're fine. And yes, I remember what White Pass was. And I just got turned around omega hard. Because I have not played this game in a very long time. And it shows, mainly because I know that the views on this are going to be abysmal, because I know that nobody is paying attention to Aveyond, not even me. They're paying attention to other video games that exist. And so that's why, like Elder Scrolls Online, I have a huge amount of people that are paying attention to Elder Scrolls Online. It's still a live game. This game is not exactly what we like to call alive. So that's part of the issue. Yes, it's powerful. Yes, there's a lot of good stuff in this game, but it's so old that it gets power crept by Elder Scrolls Online really, really hard. And it gets power crept even harder by Street Fighter 6 and Tears of the Kingdom. Like, it's power crept. I don't know what to say. It's power crept. That's just the reality of it. I can't help that. That didn't get him. All right. I'm still trying to remember what all these abilities do. This is expert difficulty, so we could die here. We could die here. All right. Well, I mean, because this game will destroy you. Okay, it's not popular right now. That's just its issue. It has a popularity problem to the point where I'm going to have to check what the like I said. Anyway, I'm going to continue on trying to get past these bats, as I want to get to the witch. I want to show you just how powerful this witch actually is, because enemies like this are not common anymore in any video game. Like, enemies like what's in Expert at the end of Expert are just they're not existent anymore. They don't exist. AI enemies of like this caliber almost just plain old do not exist. So that's one of the things that makes this game special, is that AI enemies of this caliber just do not exist as an RPG form. They don't. They just don't. And of the games that have them, how many are played today? By anybody? Almost no one. You can't even name it. Like, except maybe A Link to the Past, and you have to find the right person. Wow. Well, that is very unfortunate. I wonder if they're vulnerable to earthquake scrolls. Thankfully, we don't have to find out. Alright, we gotta level up. It's not entirely useless, but I'm gonna have to buy all of my... I need to stock up again on Blizzard, because we're gonna need these Blizzard Scrolls later. Because we're gonna have to scam a whole bunch of enemies based on Blizzard Scrolls eventually. Not everything. For one thing, I don't think they work well against the wolves. I think I have to use other spells. And pray to the divines. That's how much I play Elder Scrolls Online. Pray to the divines that they doesn't annihilate us. Just pray to the divines. Okay, at least we got our dragon here. Wonder if we had the farm. Stay away from that rat. Rat with an eye patch. Actually, we probably can just annihilate the rat with the eye patch. What am I talking about? Okay. Maelstrom doesn't even do much damage to it. That does. Okay. I'm just trying to keep things spicy, because if I make this boring, it's not going to get any views. It may still not, but at least it'll increase the probability. You always got to look at the positive, increase the probability. All right. So the main problem, and that's not it. We got a level for White Pass. We gotta try to open a barrier. There's a specific barrier we have to open. Trying to remember what I had to do. Did it involve... Trying to remember. It involved the King of Theas, and the King of Theas needs to do something with the rodents. And then they open a barrier. And then I have to get a gift for the Sultan involving an egg. And it has something to do with the egg being tied to something in the mountains. God knows why. Got a squirrel. Squirrel commander. Ulthar Pendragon. Whirled into ice. A barrier around the kingdom. Created the weapon. Demand this weapon. What do I get in return? What'd you like? Do you ask? Return me to Eridar. I also want nuts. Lots of nuts. Ready, Squirrel Commander. He's in the weapon, Your Majesty. Let's finish this. We have the weapon. It's powered up. It's going in. Blast the barrier! And the thing went backwards and blew up our ship. Looks like the Squirrel Commander will not be returning to Eridar anytime soon. To gather the troops. The problem is I still think we need the new hot sage. No. We gotta find the... We gotta get the love sonnet. We have to get the love sonnet, don't we? Because, yeah, we need special stuff. We can't just rampage off and get the Snow Queen. We have to have more levels. There's no easy way to do that. We need more money, more Blizzard Scrolls. I got to stock up on 99 Blizzard Scrolls, everything. I've got to be fully armed. If I'm not armed to the teeth, this version of the Snow Queen will blast me into a puddle on the ground. And I want to make that abundantly clear. Because this version of the Snow Queen is an absolute savage. When I say absolute savage, it's like the kind of thing that you just don't see anymore. It's a thing you guys just will never see again. It's like Elden Ring like evil. Okay, there is one thing, there is one game that will give you an inkling of the pain that this thing can inflict. There is one. Only one enemy. One modern game. Elden Ring. Unless you've played Elden Ring, you will not know. You will not know the suffering. You just will not. You will not understand. That's it. That's the only game that I can even think of. Or like Fanglair hard mode. But even more nightmarish. It's like Elden Ring. Very few other games. Very few. Will tell you of how awful this witch is. Very few. There's a reason why I have to prepare. I remember I was level 99 and everything, and this witch was an absolute nuisance. Just imagine how many times, like, just imagine what I have to do now. Like, and that was on normal. We're not even talking expert. This is expert difficulty. Be nearly impossible. Like, this is the issue. This is why it's going to take me more to do than it looks. This is also why I have to loot all these corpses, because I need all the money I can possibly carry in order to get this, or as much money as I can get. Because this game takes no prisoners when it comes to the last end, because I need the North Wind. I need the full unbridled might of the North Wind, and it's guarded by wicked wolves. Wicked wolves that will blast you into smithereens if you aren't armed to the teeth. Like, I'm being serious now. I'm being deadly serious. That's just the problem I have right now. I don't want cursed helmets. We can't make use of cursed equipment versus this evil thing. We'll have to continue this next time for a number of reasons because we aren't done yet. We are long from done yet, and I've been doing all sorts of other games, and we're about to figure out, is it working?